You should be a monster, then learn to control it. You've probably heard the phrase, you should be a monster, and maybe at first it sounds harsh, dangerous, even immoral, but let's talk about what it really means. See, in this world, too many people are told to be nice, harmless, inoffensive. They're taught to shrink, to smile, to avoid conflict at any cost. And while kindness is beautiful, weakness is not. Because the truth is this, if you are not capable of being dangerous, your goodness doesn't mean much. If you are incapable of standing up, protecting yourself, defending your family, saying no, or walking away from what's wrong, then your niceness isn't a virtue. It's just an absence of power, a mask, a survival strategy. But when someone is fully capable of rage, strength, power, and they choose peace, that is real virtue, that is real control. Why harmlessness is not a virtue. We live in a world where being nice is often celebrated above all else. From childhood, we're taught to avoid conflict, to be agreeable, to not rock the boat. But I want to challenge that idea today, because harmlessness is not a virtue, not even close. See, being harmless doesn't mean you're good. It just means you're weak. It means you have no claws, no bite, no voice. You can't protect, you can't stand up, and you certainly can't change anything. Real virtue, real goodness is when someone could be dangerous, but chooses to control it. It's when someone is capable of power, of anger, of force, but only uses it for what's right. Harmlessness is powerlessness in disguise. Let's get this straight. There's nothing noble about being unable to defend yourself. If you're harmless because you lack strength, discipline, courage, or confidence, that's not moral. That's vulnerable. That's dangerous, not only for you, but for the people who depend on you. Imagine a guard dog that can't bark, can't bite, can't do anything but wag its tail. It's not a guard dog. It's decoration. Now imagine someone with the strength to protect, the awareness to recognize danger, and the confidence to say, "This stops here." That's someone you can trust. That's someone who earns respect. You see, harmless people don't bring peace, they invite chaos, because they can't stop it when it comes. Goodness requires strength. Let's go deeper. What does it mean to be good? It means doing what's right, even when it's hard. It means standing up to injustice, defending the weak, protecting the innocent, and making tough decisions under pressure. How can a harmless person do that? They can't. You need strength to resist temptation. You need backbone to speak uncomfortable truths. You need discipline to act with integrity when no one's watching. That's why virtue requires strength, not softness. The strongest people are often the kindest, not because they have to be, but because they choose to be. Their strength gives them options. Their goodness gives them direction. A dangerous man who chooses peace is truly good. One of the most powerful ideas I've ever heard comes from psychologist Dr. Jordan Peterson. He said, "You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it. Because a truly virtuous man or woman is not someone who's incapable of violence, it's someone who can do serious damage, but chooses peace, control, and service instead." Think of a trained martial artist. They don't walk around looking for fights, but if violence comes to them, they're ready, calm, controlled, dangerous, and just. They don't fear the storm. They are the storm under control. That's what we should aim for, not harmlessness, but discipline. Not weakness, but power with restraint. Harmlessness gets you ignored, strength earns respect. Let's talk about reality. In relationships, in the workplace, in society, people who are too soft, too passive, too afraid get ignored. They get overlooked. They become doormats. But when you walk with strength, when you speak with clarity, when you show you have a spine, people listen. They may not always agree with you, but they'll respect you. You don't have to be aggressive, but you do have to be assertive. And assertiveness comes from inner strength, not from pretending to be harmless and hoping life treats you well. The mission: become strong, not soft. So what's the takeaway? Stop trying to be harmless. Start trying to be capable. Train your mind, strengthen your body, speak up, set boundaries, say no. Learn how to protect, learn how to stand, learn how to lead. Then, when you've built that strength, choose to be kind. Choose to be peaceful. Choose to serve. That's where real virtue lives, not in harmlessness, but in power, channeled for good. Goodness without power is fragile, but power guided by wisdom is unstoppable. Don't let the world fool you into thinking being harmless makes you good. It doesn't. Be strong, be dangerous, be disciplined, then go out and use that strength to make the world better. The power of controlled aggression. Let's talk today about something most people are taught to suppress, avoid, or even be ashamed of: aggression. For many, aggression is automatically seen as negative, something destructive, dangerous, or violent. But I want to challenge that belief. Aggression, in its raw form, is just energy, a force. The real question isn't whether aggression is good or bad. The real question is whether it's controlled or reckless. Because when aggression is harnessed, focused, and disciplined, it becomes one of the most powerful tools a person can possess. Let me say this clearly: controlled aggression can change your life. Aggression is not violence, it's drive. First, let's clarify what aggression really is. Aggression isn't just about fighting or yelling. At its core, it's about intensity of effort, decisiveness, and boldness. It's that inner fire that pushes you to go after what you want, to say, "I'm not going to be passive, I'm going to take action." Athletes use it to push through exhaustion. Entrepreneurs use it to charge through setbacks. Leaders use it to make tough calls when others freeze in fear. Controlled aggression is the fuel behind high performance, risk taking, and standing up for yourself. It's not about harming others. It's about refusing to be helpless, refusing to be silent, refusing to be a spectator in your own life. Why suppressing aggression makes you weaker from a young age. We're taught to be calm, polite, and agreeable, and yes, those qualities matter. But when we suppress aggression completely, we strip ourselves of something vital: our ability to fight back. A person with no access to aggression will tolerate abuse, stay in toxic environments, allow their boundaries to be broken, and never chase what truly matters to them. Why? Because they don't have that inner force, the fire to say, "Enough, I deserve better." Suppressing aggression makes you weak, not peaceful. Real peace doesn't come from being passive. It comes from being powerful and choosing restraint. Controlled aggression creates progress. Think of all the great breakthroughs in history, in sports, business, civil rights, science, art. Behind every breakthrough is someone who had the courage to go against the grain. Someone who said, "I will not stay silent. I will not play small." That's aggression, not in the violent sense, but in the courageous sense. Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat. Muhammad Ali stepping into the ring and speaking his truth. Steve Jobs pushing his team relentlessly for innovation. All of them used controlled aggression, that bold, unrelenting energy that says, "I will act, I will push, I will not back down." Without it, there is no progress. Only comfort zones. Aggression without control is destruction. Now, let's be clear: aggression without control is chaos. A person who doesn't master their aggression becomes a danger to others and to themselves. They lash out, they explode, they destroy relationships, reputations, and opportunities. But a person who has control over their aggression, that's where the magic is. They know when to speak and when to stay silent, when to charge forward and when to pause, when to defend and when to walk away. Discipline is what turns aggression into power. How to develop controlled aggression. So how do we cultivate this kind of power? Know your triggers. Don't let emotions hijack your mind. Learn to feel your aggression rise and breathe through it. Train your body. Physical training channels aggression in a healthy way and teaches discipline. Speak with purpose. Use your voice not to dominate, but to assert. Say what needs to be said, even if it's uncomfortable. Set goals and attack them. Use your aggressive energy to pursue progress relentlessly. Protect what matters. Let your aggression serve your values, your family, your mission, your principles. The goal isn't to suppress aggression. The goal is to own it. Be the calm storm. Don't be afraid of the fire inside you. Don't let society convince you that being passive is noble. It's not. Aggression is power, and power with purpose creates change. Be calm, but fierce. Be kind, but unstoppable. be the storm with focus. The fighter with discipline, the leader with teeth. That's the power of controlled aggression. Use it and become who you were meant to be. Confidence comes from capability, not pretending. Let's talk about something everyone wants: confidence. We're constantly told to believe in yourself, act confident, fake it till you make it. And while positive thinking has its place, there's a deeper truth that most people don't want to face. Real confidence doesn't come from pretending. It comes from capability. Confidence isn't about puffing up your chest or saying affirmations in the mirror. Confidence is quiet, it's calm, it's rooted in something solid: the knowledge that you are actually capable, that you can handle what life throws at you. The problem with fake confidence: we live in a world that celebrates image over substance. Social media teaches people to perform confidence, to strike a pose, say the right things, wear the right clothes, all while avoiding the actual work. But deep down, we all know you can't fake competence. You can act confident for a while, sure, but when real pressure comes, when you're tested in the fire, only the people who have put in the work, who are capable, truly stand strong. Fake confidence crumbles when it meets resistance. Real confidence rises when it meets a challenge. Why? Because real confidence is built from evidence, not imagination. Capability is the root of self-belief. Let's be clear, believing in yourself matters. But what makes that belief real? Proof, repetition, results. You believe in yourself because you've shown yourself what you're capable of, not once, but over and over again. You trust your voice because you've spoken up before and saw the outcome. You walk with confidence because you've faced hard situations and handled them. You pursue goals boldly because you've trained, practiced, failed, improved, and kept going. That's capability. And capability is the foundation of unshakable confidence. Confidence is earned in private. The loudest people in the room aren't always the most confident. Often, they're compensating for insecurity. The most truly confident people don't need to perform. They've earned their confidence through preparation, through discipline, through action. The speaker who commands a room is the one who practiced the speech 30 times in silence. The fighter who steps into the ring with calm is the one who trained for years in the dark. The leader who leads decisively is the one who learned from 1,000 mistakes. Confidence doesn't come from hype. It comes from history, your personal history of showing up, growing, and getting it done. Stop faking, start building. If you don't feel confident in an area of your life, don't pretend. Train. If you're not confident in your communication, read, practice, speak, record yourself, improve. If you're not confident in your body, move, train, learn, build. If you're not confident in business, study, test, fail forward, refine. If you're not confident socially, observe, show up, start small, keep showing up. Confidence is buildable, it's a muscle. You don't need to fake it, you need to earn it. The more capable you become, the more your confidence rises naturally. No hype, no pretending, just solid ground beneath your feet. Capability gives you calm power. Here's the beautiful thing: when you're truly capable, you don't have to convince anyone of your worth. You don't need to speak the loudest or be the center of attention. Because capability gives you something most people never find: calm power. You know what you can do, and that's enough. You're not afraid to walk away because you're not dependent on approval. You don't crumble under pressure because you've trained for it. You become grounded, focused, respected, not because you shouted it, but because you lived it. Become so capable. Confidence is inevitable, so if you've been searching for confidence, stop looking outward. Look inward and then get to work. Don't fake it, build it. Don't act like you're enough, become enough. Don't rely on empty motivation. Rely on your skills, your effort, your growth. Because when you become truly capable mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, confidence isn't something you chase anymore. It becomes who you are. Train the monster, then master it inside every one of us. There is a force, raw, untamed, primal. Some call it aggression, some call it ambition, others call it anger, power, or intensity. I call it the monster, that wild part of you that doesn't back down, doesn't wait politely, and doesn't ask for permission. Now, many are told to bury this monster, to be nice, to be passive, to be quiet and harmless. But here's the truth. You don't kill the monster, you train it, then you master it. The monster is not evil, it's human. Let's be clear, this part of you isn't evil. It's natural. It's the reason you survive, fight back, speak up, chase goals, and defend what matters. It's the side of you that says no more. It's your fire. The problem isn't having the monster. The problem is not knowing what to do with it. Some people ignore it until they become weak. Others let it control them and become dangerous, destructive, out of control. Neither path works. The real answer. You acknowledge it, train it, discipline it, and keep it on a leash. Train it, don't suppress it when society says, be nice. What it often means is, be quiet. Don't challenge anyone. Don't assert yourself. But the person who has no edge, no fire will never lead, never protect, never rise. Your monster is your edge, your strength, your potential to take action under pressure. But like a wild animal, it must be trained. That means learning emotional control, channeling anger into focus. Not destruction, turning ambition into action. Not selfishness, developing strength, discipline, and self-awareness. Training the monster means teaching it when to rise and when to stand down. Untrained monsters are dangerous. We all know someone who lets their emotions run wild, yelling, blaming, fighting, destroying relationships, burning bridges. That's a person who never trained their monster. An untrained monster doesn't make you strong, it makes you unpredictable. And unpredictability breeds fear, not respect. True strength is when you can feel the fire rise in you and still act with purpose. Still speak with clarity, still choose what's right, not just what's easy. That's the difference between power and recklessness. Mastery looks like calm power. When you've trained your inner monster, you don't have to prove anything. You become calm because you know you can handle anything. You become kind because kindness is no longer a weakness. You become fearless not because you never feel fear, but because you know your strength. Mastery isn't loud, it doesn't flex, it doesn't threaten, it walks into the room and changes the temperature quietly but undeniably. People sense it, they feel it, and they respect it. How do you train and master it? You train your monster through action, not talk. Face discomfort daily. Whether it's the gym, cold showers, public speaking, or setting boundaries, teach yourself that pressure won't break you. Practice restraint. The moment you feel triggered, breathe, observe, and choose your response. Every time you resist reacting, you're taming the wildness. Pursue discipline, wake up early, stick to your word, build habits. These small things train your instincts to follow your command. Seek truth, not comfort. Don't avoid conflict when something needs to be said. Speak it, face it. That's how you become sharp and wise. Protect what matters. Use your strength to lift others, to create, to defend. That's a monster who's mastered, not selfish, but strong. Be the warrior with a gentle soul in today's world. We don't need more people who are passive. We don't need more people pretending to be nice while hiding weakness. We need people with fire who have chosen to train it, not hide it. People who can stand up in hard times. People who can lead, protect, and decide. People who are powerful but peaceful, fierce but focused. So if you feel that fire inside you, don't run from it. Train the monster, then master it. That's how you become not just powerful but unshakable. Be dangerous, then choose to do good. Let's begin with a truth most people are uncomfortable with. It's better to be dangerous and disciplined than to be harmless and obedient. We're taught from a young age to be good, to be polite, to follow the rules, to avoid conflict, to be nice. But here's the mistake. Being nice doesn't make you good. Being harmless doesn't make you virtuous. If you're not capable of doing harm, if you're not capable of standing up, of defending, of speaking truth, of enforcing boundaries, then your goodness is hollow. It's not a choice, it's just the default of someone who has no power. Real moral strength, real character comes from having the power to be dangerous, and then choosing to use that power for good. Harmlessness is not the goal, capability is. Let's break it down. Harmless people are easy to control. They avoid hard conversations. They submit to pressure. They apologize for their strength, or worse, they never build any. They mistake compliance for virtue. But a dangerous person, one who is strong, aware, trained, disciplined, is someone who cannot be bullied, manipulated, or ignored. They have options, they have teeth, they have presence, and if that person chooses kindness, if that person offers compassion, leadership, or protection, that's real goodness, that's earned respect. Danger without discipline is destruction now. Let me be clear, danger without direction is chaos. There's no glory in being out of control. We've all seen people who are aggressive, reckless, or abusive. They're dangerous, but they aren't good. That's not who we're called to be. What we're aiming for is someone who has the capacity for danger, but has mastered it. Someone who has strength, but wraps it in wisdom. Someone who is capable of harm, but chooses healing. That is what makes a person powerful and respected, not just feared. Be capable enough to be a threat, but be so disciplined you never have to be one. There's something unshakable about a person who's trained, who's self-aware, who's experienced, who's handled pressure, survived storms, and still chooses to show up with character and courage. They don't need to brag, they don't need to dominate, they don't need to seek attention. Their presence says it all. When you become someone who could break others, but chooses to build them up. When you could manipulate, but choose honesty. When you could lash out, but choose calm. That's when you have power under control, and in a world full of noise, fear, and weak men who pretend to be strong, that kind of quiet power stands out. So how do you become dangerous? You work on yourself relentlessly. You sharpen your mind, train your body, strengthen your spirit. Train in something that makes you physically and mentally stronger. Martial arts, weightlifting, public speaking, business strategy, something that develops real capacity. Learn, develop your intellect, sharpen your thinking, read widely. Power without understanding is fragile. Control, master your emotions, especially your anger. Feel it, use it, but never let it use you. Lead, be the kind of person who can step into chaos and bring order. Not with fear, but with direction. Serve, use your strength to protect, uplift, and empower others. That's how dangerous men and women make the world better. Choose goodness not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to do so. Being dangerous doesn't mean being violent. It doesn't mean being cruel. It means you've developed the ability to confront, to endure, to fight, and now you make the conscious decision to use that strength with honor. You could crush, but you heal. You could retreat, but you stand. You could dominate, but you elevate. That's what the world needs. Not more people pretending to be nice, but powerful people who have chosen goodness. Earn your goodness if you want to be good. Don't start with softness. Start with capability, start with power, start with discipline, and when you've earned it, when you're capable of being dangerous, when you've trained your mind, your voice, your body, and your will, then choose to do good. Not because you have to, because you can.